So when I was younger, I would flip through National Geographic and I would want to change my career with every story that I read. I noticed that the through line through all of these stories was that they were in fact stories and that they were written by someone. And so from that moment, I wanted to be a storyteller.
I always thought I was going to become John Steinbeck and write the great American novel, but journalism was a great way to put myself through school. But then I found out that I was kind of pretty good at it and I kind of liked it. So that's how I got into journalism. But my passion in journalism has to do with writing stories about people who are on the margins of society. And that's kind of what our program's about, especially the Textura program. Textura came about when graphic design professor Jesse Henderson and I got together and thought, what great stories could we tell with our students in graphic design and journalism? So in the summer of 2016, we made a scouting trip to Antigua, Guatemala, and we met some amazing college students there who kind of got what we were trying to do with social justice stories. And that's when Textura was kind of born. The students made up the name of Textura, and it's all about trying to find the texture of a country. Not just the problematic social issues that they're dealing with, but also the beautiful culture that we're seeing there every day. I met Soraya when she was a high school student, and as soon as I met her, I knew that we got to get her on campus. It's really important especially in journalism, that we have leaders that others gravitate toward. And I knew, even though she was 17 or 18 years old, that she would be a leader in our program.
While at Bethel, I've had a lot of chances to study abroad, and one thing that's really stuck out to me through those experiences, they've been on 3 different continents in very different situations, big cities, small towns, villages. January 2022, I went to Guatemala with the Textura team, and I went as a reporter and a writer. We found this family, and they're willing to tell their story about how they tried to immigrate to the US across the Mexico border. I was the producer on the film, so we wanted to premiere in October after working on it for 15 months. You know, you work on such a big project like this, and the whole reason that you do it is to share these stories and to give that venue to these families. And if no one watches the documentary, then you know, it doesn't feel as impactful as it could have been. One thing that I think is so strong in the documentary is that faith aspect and what we do about immigration as Christians.
Everybody thinks that all we want is writers in journalism, but what we really want is deep thinkers who can make connections with people. And I've seen Soraya make connections with people all over the world. She's done it in Guatemala, she's done it in India, she's done it in Lithuania. She did it in Kosovo. She's exactly who we want representing Bethel. She's exactly the world changer that we're looking for when we're recruiting students, when we're graduating students.
A career is a job that is a means to an end, but then a calling is combining that with a passion and something that is helping others and something that is making the world a better place. I've found a calling in journalism because I'm able to make this my job and a career path. I'm able to listen to people's stories and then give those stories a venue in which a broader audience can share.
So these stories in developing countries, they're all really important, but they're not important because the people we're talking to don't have a voice. They certainly have a voice, but they don't have a venue, a megaphone with which, to tell that story or help us understand their perspective on the world.
Even though these people are so different from us, that doesn't discount what their stories are and what we can learn from them and how we can see God reflected in their joy and in their hardship and in their lives. And so I think that at Bethel, I've really been able to expand my worldview in that way and see truly what diversity means within God's creation.